We on a mission. Let's take a minute and put all the things that we've been stressing on in the mission and only talk about winning. We all want to have a good time. Vibe Show 97.9 in full effect. Happy Sunday to everybody. Y'all already know when I'm on this screen, y'all know what time it is. Big vibes, mad love going out, man. We're going to have a good time. And y'all already know I'm bringing somebody super, super amazing on here. I'm not going to tell y'all who it is. Y'all should have been keeping up with the promos and all the hard work we've been putting in advertising. But I'm going to tell you this, though. This king right here is very multi-talented and one of my good friends, too, man. I'm super excited to have him back on here again. So y'all keep it locked in. It's the Vibe Show 97.9. Y'all already know the vibes. Oh! Vibe Show 97.9. I'm your host, Kano the Don, the Vibe King. And tonight, man, I'm not even going to say I got a special guest, man. I'm going to say I got my friend coming back on the show. I'm super, super excited. I'm talking about multi-award winning artist, producer. He does. He's just pure art, man. We got that special talent out there. He's definitely one of those special talents chosen. And I'm super, super excited, man, to bring my brother back on the show. I'm talking about the one and only Stephen Voyce.
What's up, man? Man, that intro, man, that intro is pure love, man. That intro is pure love. I don't even feel like we're on the show right now. I just feel like we're having a phone conversation, to be honest. That's how close we are right now.
Exactly, man. Yo, man, it's so good to see you, man. It's always a pleasure to always talk to you. It's always so insightful. It's always something new, fresh conversation, and so abroad when we talk, because we could talk about so many different things, man. You know what I mean? But I want to thank you again, because I know you always have a lot of stuff going on. You're always creating, you're always working, you're always trying to bless us with something fresh and new. So I want to thank you from me and the Vibe team and the whole family. We want to thank you for coming back on the show.
Thank you for having me back on the show, man. Like, this is a blessing. Like, well, I think the last time we spoke was almost 2 years ago. So
2 years ago.
It feels like a homecoming. I feel like this is a homecoming. I'm just glad to be back, man. Thank you so much for all the love and support you give me, man. It means everything, but you already know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I already know, because that love has always been reciprocated too, you know, and I think that's important too, because, you know, being able to bond and connect with people. I think that we have maintained that. We're going on 2.5 year connection and still been supporting each other. consistently, man. And I want to thank you for that as well. Even in the midst of, all the things that you have going on, you still manage to find that time to reach back out to your fans and people that support you. Because like you said, the last time you was on here, you spoke about how important that means to you, and
Yeah.
how no matter how big you get, you never want to get into a space to where you forget about the
Yeah.
bridge. So talk to me, man, about how's everything been going with you and your lovely wife, which
Yeah.
is also another pure creator, just pure talent. She's so amazing. Talk to me about what's been going on, man, because when you came on here the last time, we didn't have the pandemic or any
Yeah.
of that stuff had happened or whatever, and we was talking about all types of amazing things that were in the plans and in the works, and a lot of things that you talked about you have manifested. So we got a lot to catch up on.
We definitely do, man. We definitely do. I mean, what's been going on? That's a big question. And there's so much. There's so many. There've been great things. There've been downs. I'm gonna say it because you touched on it already. Bring up my lovely queen, Oro Marzo. She's
Yes.
been such an important part of this journey. I don't think, even with the ups and downs, I don't think I would have gone through them as blessed as I have if it wasn't for her. When I reached lows, she was there to pick me back up. When I was in my having great moments, she was there to celebrate them with me. And that's the kind of person you want to have in your life. People
Right.
that are there for you no matter what, whether it's the ups and downs, the rain, the sunshine. They're there no matter what. And she's just been there, and she's been helping me creatively and helping me fuel my own creativity as well as I help her fuel hers. And I just feel like together we're just powerhouse of just this infinite creativity. And that's what we've been facing life challenges together. We've been facing life's ups together, and we've just been remaining strong throughout all of it.
Right, and definitely can see that. I want to stay there for a minute
Yeah.
too, because I think that you know she is a big part of you having that creative mind space, that not foggy and cloudy, because relationships can also deter you from your
Hmm.
dreams and your passions as well. I want to touch on that a little bit more with her, because it's like you guys protrude and display that organic energy and that organic love, or whatever. With being two creators, though,
Yeah.
is it any parts or moments that you guys disagree, or how do you guys work it out, as far as being two massive creators like that? Is it ever a clash at any moment?
Mm. I don't think it's the. I mean, like any relationship, there's always gonna be moments where you might have differences of opinion. But one thing that we learned really quickly is just how important communication is in a relationship. And to be honest, before meeting Oro, I was probably the least communicative person in relationships, because I always felt that I couldn't say what I needed to say without being judged. I always
Right.
felt that I had to kind of shrink myself so that I wouldn't come across as, oh, here comes this overly artistic person. Oh, here he comes with his crazy dreams again. And with Oro, I've never felt that. From day one, I felt that here's a person that I could be my honest self with. And so when we disagree on anything, we talk through it. We're honest with each other about our stances, and then we find common ground. And I think that's what's really important, is being able to find common ground, because that's how you move forward. And because of that, the more we're together, the more it's almost like we share this brain, where I know what she wants to do, she knows what I want to do, and then so creating, it just feels like this organic process together. And we do create a lot together. And I think people in relationships need to remember that it's so much fun to play together. Like when we're creating, it's essentially playing together. We're playing, whether we're filming like a skit here, or like I'm working on a song and she helps me, like I told you last time, she helped me create the cover art. It's just this symbiotic relationship where we both help one another.
Right.
And yeah, like I keep moving forward, and she keeps moving forward, and it's because we're there for one another, to hold each other up. When one is down, the other there is there to lift them up. So yeah, that's how we grow and just continue to prosper together.
I love that, man. And I really think that that attributes to a lot of the success that you're having too,
Yeah.
because you know they say that saying behind every great man is a great woman as well. And I want to say behind, on side
The
of.
side. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that could get you right there, my
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So man, you know, you're looking amazing
Thank you.
as usual, man. You know, I think that another thing that I really like about you too is the visual aspect of
Mm,
how you put the visuals out there. You know, I think that everything that you do, which means a lot to me, has meaning to it.
yeah.
It's not something that's just being thrown out there or
Yeah.
whatever. It always has meaning behind it
Yeah.
as well, which definitely puts you in your own lane and your own category. You're not trying to follow the crowd, follow
Yeah.
the next new thing that's popping. From a creative standpoint, though, talk to me about that, because you know that could also we've seen a lot of people that feel the need to follow the trends,
Yeah.
or you know, be so in tune with, you know, the next thing that's popping or whatever, but you go totally against the grain on all of those aspects. Talk to me about that, and is there any self-doubt at times
Mm,
when it comes to that? Because you know that could be, it could be a tricky thing sometimes when trying to, you know, sometimes being so different, sometimes worrying from the artist's perspective that it might not be accepted the way
yeah.
that you may have seen it in your mind.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, whenever I've had doubts, it's whenever I would let, in the past, especially, people put those doubts there. I'd have people that would be unfortunately close to me that would say, well, if you did it this way, there's a guarantee that you get this, but you're trying to do it your way.
Right.
And we recognize that it's something that you're really passionate about, and it's even, it's great, but you're pushing against the grain and you're making it harder on yourself. And in those moments I've had doubts, but I've learned as time has gone on to not let that get to me anymore, because I've learned that often those come from people's insecurities about themselves. They're projecting onto you. They're reminiscing their own lives, and are wanting you to follow in a certain footstep because they weren't able to move beyond a certain point, because they, like you, were told, that they were pushing against the grain, and then so they had doubts put on them, but they gave into the doubts.
Right.
And I've just chosen to not let myself give into those doubts. I have them from time to time. I wonder, like, oh, am I pushing so much against the grain? But it's not possible for me to betray who I am as a person. I just can't. I can't. Even if someone told me, you know what, Steven, everything you're doing, I foresaw the future, and you're gonna end up penniless because of it, I will still go in that direction, because what I would, because I don't want to ever let go of that joy of creation, that, like, the magic of creation, the reason behind my art. It comes from a real place. For me to now stifle that for the sake of, as they say, getting the bag, I couldn't, I just couldn't. And so everything is just authentically me, to my own detriment at times, but I don't care. And I think you end up vibrating with the right people because of that. The road might be longer because it's a road that you're building. Nothing that's made that is brand new happens overnight. You
Right.
have to build it. But if you stay the course, then the rewards are there, and I believe that. And for me, I see the rewards along the way. Being able to meet amazing people like you, that's such an amazing reward. And I don't think I'd have that honor if I was just like every other artist that decided to do the same thing that sounds and looks exactly the same. I don't want to be that person. I want to be me. I want my reasons, my existence, to be justified by the person that I am, and not through the eyes or the shadow of someone else.
Right, right. And I love that, and I think that that's what allows you that creative freedom to be able to lock in mentally
Hmm.
that way. Because a lot of people, you know, in this entertainment business that we're in, man, it's so easy to be sucked into that whole realm of thinking,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the ones that move the way that you do and think the way that you do, maybe if the journey may be a little bit more bumpier and rockier or whatever, but in the end, I always feel like people eventually get it,
Yeah,
because you get burned out from all of the other stuff that sound the same.
one hundred
You know,
percent.
I want to ask you this though. Do you think that there's some form of mental conditioning when it comes down to the business? Just, with you being in it for a duration of time now,
Hmm.
seeing a lot, experiencing a lot, learning a lot, how the business works, how certain things, aspects of it's controlled from the
Yeah,
numbers too. Because I feel like we're living in
yeah,
now such a controlled situation now, to where even if you are the dopest out there or whatever, like we were talking about in the green room, that you know it's not easy, just because we have social media and
mhm,
stuff like that. People think that, oh, it's just easy, I'll just get me some software, create me some music, and put it out there online, and it's going to go. That don't necessarily mean that
yeah.
that's going to happen like that. Talk to me about, just for our listeners and inspiring artists out there, some of the difficulties that you may have faced, even with having social media platforms and being able to, touch the world in the matter of a minute whenever you put something out, or second or whatever. The difficulties, some, even being,
Yeah.
having all of the resources and things that you have to be able to create beautiful art, still some of the drawbacks a little bit.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between the industry now and industry back then is that, like you said, there is social media and it comes with all these tools and resources that on paper should make everything easier. But
Right.
the truth is, because it makes it so much easier for more people to put out material, it means that there is that many more people doing it. And it's easy to get lost in the ocean of people doing what they're doing. And I think that comes back to why it's so important as artists in today's world, especially, to be that authentic person that you are, because when you're trying to sound like everyone else in the world where everyone else is trying to sound like everyone else, you will quickly become just one of the many.
Hmm.
But you stand out by, and it's like, I know, like, a lot of people, in the beginning would try to tell me like, oh, you need to really think about your brand and who you are as an artist, and what message you're trying to show. But really, it boils down to, who are you as a person? That's really what it is. At the end of the day,
Right.
it's like, who are you as a person, and just represent that person. Just be that person. But yeah, it's 100 more percent more than just releasing a song and expecting it to do well, or releasing whatever piece of art and expecting it to do well. You'll reach people, but there's the consistency. There's continuing to move, even when you're not seeing the progress
Right.
necessarily. You're not seeing the fruit of your labors right away. I think that's one thing that a lot of people on social media expect, and I think it's from, like, things going viral. We see people go viral, so we think like, oh, I'm just gonna release that one thing, it's gonna blow up, and that's the end of it. But when it
Right.
doesn't happen, they're discouraged. But the truth is, behind that virality, I'm sure that's the word, but
Yeah, we made it
behind
a word.
we made it a word. But behind that, there is so much more. There's work that went behind it. There's
Mhm.
years sometimes of, like, trial and error, and that's what it is at the end of the day. But also, as an artist in today's world, you have to be that much more of an entrepreneur. So that comes from learning, observing, watching what you're doing, see where you made mistakes. Maybe you released a song and, you released it without doing certain things. Maybe you didn't reach out to magazines, you didn't reach out to blogs. So the next time you put out a song, you go like, okay, I'm going to try and do that. It's trial and error. It's making mistakes, but not getting discouraged by the failures, because the failures are just lessons. Every time I put out
Mhm.
something and it doesn't meet an expectation, I go, okay, well, how can I make that better next time? And every time I get better and better at building my brand, at building my business, at becoming more savvy as a creator and as an entrepreneur. So that's what it is. It really is. You have to have this desire to learn, because that's how you keep evolving in this world. It's learning. It's, how can I be better tomorrow than I am today?
Right. I totally agree with you on that. From from the support standpoint,
Yeah.
um, do you feel like you get the support? And I know this is this question is probably rhetorical, but I always like to ask people, from a support standpoint, because like when you independent and you have a brand or brands or whatever that you're trying to launch and put out there, and you putting your blood, sweat, and tears into it or
Hmm.
whatever, and we're not gonna say somebody less talented than or whatever, but the illusion
Hmm.
of social media, because everything now can be bought,
Yeah.
purchased. I mean, you can buy practically anything
Absolutely.
because everything is a hustle now.
Yeah.
Um, you know, do you think that it makes it that much more harder though? Because everybody is personifying a certain lifestyle
Hmm.
at the end of the day. You can buy followers, you can buy likes, you can buy comments, you can buy Spotify numbers, you can buy SoundCloud numbers, you can buy the billboard in New York, you can
Yeah.
buy from the authenticity standpoint, because I feel like you pure art, and you try to stay in that space of organics.
Hmm.
Do you think that it kind of complicates the situation, with everything just being able to be able to be bought now?
Yeah, it absolutely does. But you know what? I always see it as it's kind of like when you lie on your CV.
Right,
Like
right, right,
you might get the job,
right, right,
but that
right.
doesn't mean you're gonna be good at the job. And then that's what happens is a lot of times people they fake this, they fake that, but everything always eventually comes to light. Like eventually you get caught in the lies you built for yourself, and it crumbles. And when you crumble, you have to start again. And so for me, I'd rather, like, even if it's harder, even if I have to make people realize, like, hey, this is what I'm doing, I'm worth your ears, but I'm doing so from my own authentic way. It, like I said, it takes longer, it's harder, it's frustrating at times, because a lot of the times we live in a world where social media algorithms can determine whether you're worth it.
Yeah,
And it can be so frustrating when you put all the work into this amazing song, and someone copies something that was already made, puts little to no work into it, and then social media goes, well, because that worked before for someone else, we're going to make that work again. It's
yeah,
easy to go like, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. But like, that only takes you so far. It can only ever take you so far. And listen, people, do whatever it is that you want to do at the end of the day. But for me, I know that I would not be able to strip away who I am for the sake of the views, for the sake of the likes. It might be slow burning, but I prefer this road. I prefer this road, and I'm learning so much because I have to entrench myself into it to the point where it's making me a master of the craft, a master of the entrepreneurial side of things, because I have to. I'm not faking it to make it. I'm making it to make it, so
right, right, right.
so yeah, it can be frustrating, but I always look at the other side of the coin. How will I feel if I was to just fake it? Will I be happy? If I was to make the same kind of song over and over and over again, will I lose the essence of the craft? Absolutely. Absolutely. If I was to make a song and someone told me, you know what, Steven, you can only ever use your mid-range vocals. That's it. Don't use your falsettos. Don't use your lows, because if you do that, then the algorithms tell me that it's not going to work. I couldn't do that, man. I couldn't. I couldn't. And I feel like the real ones, they know, and it'll take everyone else time to recognize, because it's easier to take in what is being marketed to you, but you will eventually get their ears, get their eyes, and when they see what you're doing, they will resonate towards you. That's what makes the legends that they are, because they stay true to the craft, to the art. They continue to evolve. They don't let the trends dictate who they are as a person. They don't allow themselves to become a mirror of what the world expects them to be.
Absolutely, man. I totally agree with you. Vibe Show 97.9. We just in here vibing out with my brother, the one and only Stephen Voice. Look, we got to go pay some bills. We'll be right back with more Stephen Voice. Shout out to everybody that's on the pull up, the check in right now. And shout out to everybody on the radio airwaves that's tuned in, showing my special guests, my brother. So much love. We got to go pay some bills. We'll be right back. It's the Vibe Show 97.9.
What's new and hot on the scene? The Pink Smoke Cigar Company, a black, female-owned boutique cigar company offering one-of-a-kind, hand-rolled cigars from proprietary blends created specifically for Pink Smoke by the J. Will Cigar Company. Their exotic recipes are blended from various regions of Nicaragua, Ecuador, Colombia, Mexico, the Dominican, and Honduras. What's certain is you'll experience the most unique, even fresh smoke your palate has yet to discover. They're so hot, they were the premier brand ambassador at the 2022 Men's Style Gifting Suite for Super Bowl 56. For more information, go to pinksmoke4u.com. That's pinksmoke, the number 4, letter U.com to experience Pink Smoke's sexy, classy cigar culture. Contact L Group PR Agency for bookings and events.
Back with my special guest, the one and only Stephen Voice, man. We back in here just vibing out. Steve, let me ask you something, man, because I look forward to the Me, Myself, and Steve.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man, like it's just sheer brilliance. You know what I'm saying? I think that you have, and I actually went back to some of the first ones.
Yeah.
I've seen the progression. I've seen the storylines grow, get better.
Yeah.
I've seen the visual, the camera, the everything has been upgraded to, and I don't know why, but I see something big with that, man. I don't know if you feel the same inside. You just in creative mode, but I just see this on a bigger. I just see it, just somebody like, hey, yo, this is brilliant. Like, I see it on a bigger level. I actually see television with it. I see a show with it in some form of fact. I want to talk about the origin of it. You know, what was the ultimate vision for creating because that's a whole nother brand in itself.
Completely different.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're killing it right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, upon creating that though, I just want to let me come inside your mind.
Yeah.
And did you see it still going on now today, or was it just an idea at that time? I just want to know. I want to walk in there.
Yeah, man. So Me, Myself, and Steve has a funny origin story because I was, I've been able to do the three accents, obviously this one, and then this Niger Stephen. How are you doing, my brother? And then like obviously I can speak like this as well, and it's because I'm Nigerian, so I was born I was born in Nigeria. I've lived the accent. I had the Nigerian accent before I moved to Canada, and the British UK sound came from my aunts, and in Nigeria there's a lot of UK sounding accents or UK attempting sounding accents, and so all of these things they just were naturally around me, and I wanted to make this skit. Really, when I first made it, the main point was I can act, I can do these accents. I want to do something fun because why not? And that was it. That was it. If you watch the first episode and you compare it to everything else, you see that they're like night and day. It really was, I want to be able to do these accents. I want to make people laugh. I want also, that's about it. But then the more I did it, the more I realized that these characters were a platform for me to say something that meant something to not just myself, but to others in a way that was creative and comedic, but also were personal stories that I felt could apply to others. And at some point they became like two sides of me listening to me talk about my life and the things I was trying to mull over or trying to get an understanding over, and they helped me make sense of it. So whenever I would write an episode of Me, Myself, and Steve, it would honestly start with, this is something that happened to me this week or last week, and I've been trying to wrestle over how I can proceed from it. And I would just start writing from this character's perspective, going like, hey guys, you know, this just happened to me and blah, 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 blah. And then, Nigerian Steven quickly just became Mr. Wisdom. He'd be like, my brother, you're going through this, but there's a reason for why you are experiencing this in your life. I like the fact that you are continuing to pursue who you are. And then he just became this character. And then British Steven became this satirical, sex obsessed character.
Give me some of him. You got to give us. You're giving us all the characters.
Bro, he's like Roy. Like obviously, it's like it's no thing. It's about you, innit? It's about you, Roy. Like you want to talk about like your life again because you got issues. You know, like you're so like obsessed. You know, and then he played the other side of the coin where, you know, they both allowed me to experience both facets of the thought process and come to a conclusion. And the more I did it, the more it just became more natural. And these characters, honestly, in my head, they're very independent. Like when I'm doing Nigerian Steven, I really am embodying who he is.
I could tell.
Completely different from me. And the thought process changes because suddenly he becomes the bigger brother. And he's trying to make you understand that you may make mistakes, but it's okay. But British Steven is just like very condescending. And he's like, he looks at everything that I say and is very much like, right, but like whatever. Like,
get the girl, whatever, man.
Yeah, it's like
you're overthinking it.
You're overthinking everything. Just like go out there and have sex and call it a day. And,
right.
But that's who these characters are. And so like the more I did it, I would, like I said, I would write the main problem that I'd be facing, and they in my head answer the questions, and I would just write down the thought, and that was it. So it became so effortless. So no, I did not expect the show to become what it became. At some point I actually did end the show. I did 3 years worth of the show, and I felt like my character had grew to the point that he didn't need them anymore. And so I actually did a final episode, and I ended the show, and people were like upset that I ended the show.
Exactly.
They were upset. But I needed to end it because I needed to take a break from it, because like it was getting to the point where I felt like I didn't have anything to say for them. And I didn't want to betray who I am as a person by starting to just make formulaic things because for the sake of doing it. But then as I distanced myself from it, I realized new ways that I can create the show that brought a different element to it, remaining fresh for me, but also making, the fan base happy. So like I brought it back, and I'm happy now. It's become part of like many skit ideas that I do. But it's the founding father, so to speak, founding creator of everything else that came forward. And it's honestly something I'm really proud of. So I do hope that one day I get to make this something bigger than just like something I do on my Instagram and TikTok, that I want it to become like something I do on a network, because I think I agree with you that it deserves it.
I'm telling we already claiming it already. It's going it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you're consistent. Now, excitingly enough, what I want to know is because it's so hard for me, man, with everything I have going on, to keep up with all of the different platforms now, because we got everything: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these other things or whatever. It's hard to be on all of them at the same time. But I would like to know what was the response over on TikTok, because that's a whole nother fan base. I feel like it kind of fits that space right there for me, myself, and Steve over there, because they're real fast. They not that long, and they're real powerful. Yeah. So talk to me about bringing the brand over to TikTok. And what was the response on that?
Well, the funny thing about TikTok is before I got into TikTok, I had so many people reaching out to me going, you need to get into TikTok, but like you need to like find a way to make it conform to TikTok and how it works with TikTok. So when I first approached TikTok, I was stressed out. Because I let too many people get into my head about like how it's supposed to be. So it became it became more like trial and error. Like I didn't bring me, myself, and Steve into TikTok initially. I thought I had to make something completely different. Because of everything that was being thrown at me. And then one day I just said, you know what? Like, I'm just going to do what I love to do again. Like, every time I try to, like, do what people tell me will work, it doesn't feel right. So I scrapped everything I had done to that point. I honestly deleted everything. And I just said, I'm going to start with me, myself, and Steve. I'm going to bring it to TikTok. And then I'm going to see where it goes. And then people caught on to it. Like, it's a slow burn for me because I'm to be honest, I'm still new to TikTok despite having been on it for at least a year, because I spent half of that year listening to everyone else.
Right.
So now I'm now, you know, repurposing my TikTok, and I have brought me, myself, and Steve onto it. Me, myself, and Steve gave birth to Life with Oro and Steve, where now Oro has like, we have a storyline together, and it's just like I'm having fun with these things, and the more I keep having fun with those, I come up with new ideas, and I go like, okay, well, I'm gonna try that instead, and I'm just having fun, and I feel people are reciprocating, and I think it'll eventually get popular on that platform, but like right now I'm just chipping away at it, but like having fun while doing it. I'm not trying to get 1 million views tomorrow. I'm just trying to keep creating and let people discover it.
Right. Let me ask you this. Do you think that have you ever thought about, because I don't know why in my mind I'm seeing this thing, which of course it would take a lot of work or whatever, but I'm actually seeing this show, because I noticed, which I thought was brilliant, the Uber driver guy. I'm seeing you incorporating somebody else into. I mean, how did that come about? Because I thought that was dope too. So
Yeah.
do you foresee writing other characters into incorporating into the vibe, or like what's like, I feel like you got something genius cooking, and I'm just trying to dig in to grab something.
Yeah, it's so the skit I did about with my friend. His name is Nir Gusinski. He's a comedian. He's another actor based out of Montreal, and we've been friends for a long time. He actually got me started in the acting scene. But so we create a lot together, and I just reached out to him one day, sent him this skit idea. I was like, "Can we do a skit where I'm like this paranoid space obsessed person?" And he goes like, "Yeah," and we rewrote the skit, and we did it, and yeah, that skit's that talks about massive space creatures, the potential that maybe there are space creatures out there that are so massive that they can eat worlds. It's none of these things are things I really have to like think about. They're really part of my brain. Like I do think about these things. Like I think about these. I'm obsessed with space, so I think about it all the time. And I just said like, I want people to learn more about that side of me. So how do I do that? I was like, let's just make some funny skits surrounding that, and it really wasn't something I had to think about. It just happened, and then we're actually turning that into like a reoccurring thing. So there'll be more episodes about that.
Yes.
But I love it. Like I really honestly having a creative mind and not being afraid to dive into that creative process it's honestly a gift in itself. The reward of creativity is the gift in itself. Everything else for me honestly is just the icing on the cake. So when I see like you like loving those skits and wanting more, it makes me feel justified that like, yeah, man, like I'm having fun creating and it's being reciprocated. So cool. You know?
Absolutely. I just think that because your core fans, people that actually love you as a human and love you for the skills and things that you put out there and bless us with. We love it, and we fall in love with all of these different things that you're doing, and we look forward
Thank you.
to because I go on there, and if I don't see, I'm like, yo, it's like he didn't do another Steve. I was like, okay, cool. He probably working on it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then I'll go back and I'll see it because you're on my favorites and you starred and all that, because I don't like to miss people that I really genuinely got love for. I don't like to miss, because when you get a certain amount of followers, we'll miss each other's content unless you favor it or put it in your star it or whatever, so you can always see the content or whatever. Now you and your wife though, that's another brand that's created.
Life
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, that was honestly, that was born because during the pandemic we just created a lot of stuff together, and I just feel like our relationship we're similar and also very different, and a lot of the time it creates for very comedic moments. And so again, it's one of the things where I don't have to write the idea; they've already happened. Like
Right,
all the
right.
Life with Oro and Steve episodes, they're based on actual things. Like a lot of times, I'll just be sitting down, something funny will happen between us, and I'll go like, "That's a funny episode," and then we just write it down real quick, film it, and call it a day. Like that's what it is, and it's just I think because on one end, I love people knowing how much I love Oro. Like I want them to know. So like I get to one celebrate her, and two we create together, and three we end up with this fun little thing that people like embrace and have fun with. And I think that's what it is at the end of the day. I think that's what creativity is. It's a lot. It's just playing and having fun and not limiting yourself to what it is that you do. Because yes, I'm a singer, I'm a music producer, but like there's more that I want to do. Like at its core, the music is everything. That is the basis of Steven, but everything else is still a part of me. And for me to not touch on those things, I feel will hurt me as a person and as a creator, and then I'll feel like I'm not being the full extent of who I am. And honestly, I feel blessed to have a fan base that embraces all of my madness. Like I don't ever have anyone go like, "You're doing too much, man." Like no one
Right,
says that.
right,
They go
right.
like, when I do something, they go like, "Yeah, that's Steve," and that's cool, and that's really awesome that I get to experience that with people that generally like the things that I put out.
I think you know what I think is great about it though, that you have placed yourself in this freedom space
Yeah,
to where, coming out, people, the things that you're doing right now are things that's not really surprising to people because,
yeah, no,
you
no.
know, you're not locked in that box that we talked about the last time you were on there. And that's
Yeah,
got to be an amazing feeling to be
yeah,
able to create something and people look at like, oh man, that's not gangster,
yeah,
what you did, or hey man, I ain't feeling that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's like they like, oh, okay, cool, man. Like I see where you're going with it or whatever. To me, man, that is like a freedom
yeah,
that I think is it's got to be a from a mental standpoint. It's got to be a great feeling to
yeah,
be in a free, creative space.
yeah. It really is. Like I combine everything all the time. Like on TikTok and Reels, recently the first thing I did was The Simpsons. Like I did a remix to the Simpsons theme song because it's been sitting in my brain for years. The
Yeah,
like the da 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 da
yeah,
da 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 da, and I was like in my head, if you loop that, you can make something dope. So I made a beat out of that, and I was like, it was like I just want to do it because I could do it, and people love this. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna keep having fun with this, and so I've just been remixing theme songs of cartoons and shows that I grew up with as a
popular stuff
kid.
too.
And yeah, and I just it's so much fun, and I'm so like I'm combining my passion for geek material with my music. So and it's being reciprocated, and I mean it's being like loved and liked. And I'm just like I said, there are all these bridges we can create in our minds between all of our passions, and there's no reason for us to keep them in silos. And that's one thing that I'm lucky that I was able to kind of embrace and hold on to,
Mhm.
despite so many people at some point telling me like I need to choose. I remember the first time people told me I needed to choose was when I first started making music. I expressed a passion for like writing music, singing, and producing music. And I remember people back then would tell me like you have to choose one. You can't be a music producer and a singer songwriter. You have to choose one. You can't do both. And I remember going like, nah, I want to do both. And ever since then, that rebellious part of me of going that wants to eat his cake and have it too,
Right,
that wants to be his like the master of all trades, was like, I think that person was born then, and I'm happy that
right.
person was born then because I've never let go of that person ever since.
Man, it's definitely a blessing to us all.
I agree.
You just remain true to yourself, and that's one
Yeah.
thing that I do admire about you too, man. That you stay true to yourself no matter what. And like you say, true to the art.
Trades with art. Yeah.
That's very, very important. Remaining true to the art, and you are, and like you said, a slow burn. But at the
Mm.
end of the day, the fruits that bared from the slow burn tastes so much more
Yeah.
fruity.
Yeah.
It just it tastes so much more fruitier.
Yeah.
You know, the taste is more richer
Yeah.
when those rewards come from all of the hard work and sacrifice that goes into it daily. So I definitely applaud you on that, man.
Thank you, brother, man. Thank you.
So now, from a musical creative standpoint,
Okay.
you know, when you're creating these pieces that you put together, or projects or singles, um, interesting though, everything seems to have a different meaning and a different theme to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about controlling that aspect of the art that you're creating. Um,
Yeah.
I want to know about that because I feel like you're so creative, um, to the point to where when I hear these pieces, it doesn't really surprise me. I'm just like, yo, like now the concept might stand out, and I'll be like, yo, why did I think of that? Like that's dope. You know what I mean? Talk to me about the Stephen Voice creating process when creating singles or projects, full projects, or even because I notice you work with a lot of people too,
Yeah.
because you're a
Yeah.
producer, you produce for a lot of people, write for a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
Talk to me about all of that.
Yeah. So one of the reasons I've at least in my recent career tried to stay away from signing myself to labels.
Mhm.
Like so everyone, like to each their own. But for me, I I don't want to be in a situation where someone can tell me, "Oh, but like do more songs like this, though." Like I don't want. I couldn't. I just can't. I've been in that situation. I've been in that situation where I've had a team around me that has tried to steer me only in one direction or not really understood the full facet of who I am, and it always made me feel very like locked in, like very closed and not understood. And it made me feel frustrated because I felt like they're not seeing what I'm seeing. Like they're not seeing what's in my mind. They're seeing what they think is profitable, but they're not realizing that this idea of a person that wants to do all of these things can be that much more lucrative, but they've limited themselves to not be able to see that. So I'm lucky to be independent in my creativity where I can do what it is that I want. And for me, when I'm writing music, I'm not like I never approach a song going like, yeah, I'm gonna make a trap song today, and yeah, I'm
Right,
gonna make
right.
blah 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 songs. I really just kind of have a feeling. Most of the time, it's either a feeling or emotion behind it, or just a vibe. Sometimes it's just like a lyric that pops into my head. If I'm taking a shower, and I'm all like, I'm like, wait a second, and I just start creating this thing in my head. And then by the time I get out of the shower, at least half the song is built in my brain.
Right,
Then I need to go create it. Like when the song keeps building itself in my brain, then I know it's time for me to go. Let's go work on that thing. And that's what the creative process is. Like I create from a place of emotion, a place of just pure like necessity in the sense that it's not I don't need to make the song, but the song wants to be born. Like the song really wants to be born. It's either like an emotion that really needs to come out of me,
right.
and so I do it. And so the songs take whichever form they need to take, because that's just the nature of the muse. The muse takes me in that direction. Like I know that whenever I tend to start a song with the piano, it's gonna be a very melodramatic song because that's
Mhm.
where I tend to go with the piano. Um, so that's where it comes from. And then when I'm creating with other artists, one thing that's really important for me is I like to have, if possible, the artists with me in the studio and have them just talk to me about like, how's life right now? What's going on in your life? But let's just talk about that. And as they're talking, I start to just kind of play things and I can see them kind of getting into it. And before you know it, there's a song being made because I like to channel where they're at
Right.
and make something out of that. So yeah, that's my honestly my creative process is just that. It's just going with the momentum of my life and just putting it out there. So if I'm making a song like when I release a Victim of Circumstance, which is like a song about diversity and inclusion and saying like enough with discrimination, then it's because that's where I'm at in my life. I've witnessed too much pain and tragedy towards people who just don't look or sound like another group. And I'm saying enough is enough. Let's talk about this. And that's what I'm going to talk about. And if I'm making a song like Summerlust, where like it's a hot day and I felt like, yeah, let's make some sexy music, then that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, the creativity just kind of follows who I am as a person.
Limitless.
Limitless,
Man, that's what I call it, man. Like that again, that creative freedom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you really think about it, man, it's like it's unlimited with what you could do. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, being independent, being self-contained, you know, acquiring all of the resources and different things that you need, tools, equipment, and everything that you need to be able to work in your safe haven, and be able to work with your partner. You know what I mean? Which is the love of your life. I don't think it gets. You're living the dream right now, my brother.
Absolutely. I'm 100% from a creative perspective. I'm living the dream, and I'm enjoying every aspect of it. And I'm honestly humbled that I'm, like I said, surrounded by people that support me the way they do. I think when you live in life and you've seen how low it can get you, when you start to experience the highs, you really feel them. And like you start to appreciate even the lows, because the lows make your eyes that much clearer to see the good moments, you know? So like I appreciate the hardships because they build me as a person that becomes more resilient and more appreciative of the things that are wonderful in my life.
Right. You know, from what are some of the things from the time journey from the beginning to now, the present? What are some of the things that you have learned to dislike about the business? You know, even not even being on a major, or, you know, even from an independent space, what are some of the things that, you know, you dislike?
Yeah, I've always been frustrated by the political nature of the industry of, and I'm not sure if I told you the story last time, but like in Montreal, for example, there are a few radio stations, and there's one that I really wanted to get on at a point where I released a certain song, and that song was gaining a lot of momentum and people really liked it. And one of the DJs on the radio told me like they want to play this song on the radio. They want me to be able to play this song on that station. They just needed me to get, you know, the buy-in from the radio supervisor. And then he told me, he's like, look, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. If they deny the song, it's political. Is because you're not signed to a major label. And he told me like, look, if it was The Weeknd that had released the song, I guarantee you they'd play it. And that's exactly what happened when I went to the radio supervisor. They were like, oh, we would love to play this song, however, it's too urban. And I just remember, and I remember hearing that, going like, that is such a cop out. Like, it's horrible that we can live in a world where people can tell you your music is too urban. That's another word for saying your music is too black, you know, like, or not, you know, it's not, it doesn't fit the mold of like, you know what I'm trying to say. And you just like, how can you allow your mouth to open and say that? And that's the thing I don't like about the industry, is the political nature that is often driven by a bias. And it restricts people that I think deserve to get the attention, but they don't get the attention because, again, they're not behind the machine and all that nonsense. And I think that's what I don't like. I think it's people live too much by the machine, that they don't allow themselves to honestly do the right thing most of the time.
Right.
And I don't like the how a lot of the times what slows down the creative process is contracts. Like, I cannot stand that. Back when I had you know, certain teams behind me, certain songs wouldn't happen because of going back and forth with legal this, legal that, legal, and it's like, sure, it's important, but like to the point where it gets in the way of the creativity. It's just like, it's baffling for me. So like, yeah, for me it's the political nature of the industry, the bias. That really drives me crazy. And that's why it's so important for me to want to empower others to like take control of their arts and their journeys, because we have that ability. It might be harder But like, if we make that change as artists, and we reclaim our power, oh man, the damage we would do in terms of like just putting out amazing music is limitless, like you said.
Right. What's been the most thing that you've accomplished that's been the most proudest thing for you though? You like, yo, man, like, wow, like this is unbelievable.
Honestly, it's as much as like, you know, the accolades and all the cool things that I've done are impressive. I think every time someone reaches out to me and tells me, hey, like your music either changed a part of who I am, made me, you know, stronger, or made me feel like I'm not alone, made me feel that there is a way out of a darkness. Those have been the proudest moments for me, because it means that my music is truly making the difference that I wanted to make. Because I've been through really dark places, and you know, especially early on in my career, my music really was a way for me to deal with my own demons. And then for me to now get to a place where my music is helping others heal their own demons, that for me is the proudest, because it means that I've done what it is that I truly set out to do, which is I wanted to touch people's souls. Ironically, when I first started music, it's something that I did because I wanted to create. I wanted to show the world like I have this talent. But as the journey went on, and I learned just how music connects us, it became more important for me to use my voice as a way to speak to others, to make them feel like they're being heard, that someone like them that like wasn't born into like a family that was already like connected, you know, to Hollywood or whatever, that is working to make things happen for themselves, is getting to a point where he's making a difference. That for me is more impactful than any award, any accolade, any like celebrity give me a high five. It is way more important to me. So yeah, those are the proudest moments of my career.
And that's dope, man. I love that. Let's put the social platforms out there, and then let's do some shout outs.
Absolutely.
To, your fans, family, wife, loved ones, your crew, your staff. Let's put the social platforms out there, then let's give some flowers out.
Let's do it. So to be honest, social media, there's only one I ever truly shout out, because once you have this one, you have them all. Instagram is my baby. Like for me, Instagram is the most holistic platform that you can truly put your art out and let people discover who you are. So Instagram.com/Stephen Voyce, StephenVoyce, and then you'll find everything that there is to know about me.
Right. Also, the website as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Super dope. If you want to get some of that super dope merch y'all got over there, man, like it's just crazy. For more Stephen Voyce, y'all visit www.voicemusic.com. Amazing, very beautiful website. Has everything on there. So much amazing merch over there. I got to get me some of that merch as well. It's just amazing just seeing everything grow into what it is now. Like I said, 2 years ago when you came on here, we discussed a lot of things that you had coming. Website was coming, was being worked on. You know what I mean? New music, new projects. Those projects have came. You've done very well with those projects. Just so proud of you, man. Just to be able to be connected to the journey and watch a beautiful flower just grow from, you know what I mean, from where it was at that point of a stem, which was moving then, but now it's blossomed. I feel like you're more comfortable and have you know, discovered new things about yourself that you have you know, put out there in the world as well, for us to be connected to your journey and understand you more. And that's another thing that I like. Even with the skits and everything that you're doing, you're also putting love out there in the atmosphere as well. You know, you're showing that you know, the relationship, you guys bring us into that world
Yeah.
as well, of positivity, good energy. Organic true love still exists.
Yeah.
We can exist together, work together, do projects together, support one another,
Yeah.
work out together. I just think that connected to the brand and you, because you guys don't have to bless us with that part of it. You guys could keep that to yourself. And do you ever worry, you guys ever worry about putting it out there like that? Because the realm that we're living in now, people see that, they want that, they desire that. And temptation can also be
Yeah.
a beast as well, especially in this entertainment business. You're attractive looking brother,
Thank
your
you.
wife, she's attractive as well, creative. A lot of people, these are things that's attracting.
Yeah.
Then you got the wolves that come out too, who just, they want that. And they, have you guys ever experienced that? Thank God the love is organic,
Yeah.
real, and strong and pure enough to be able to fight off those temptations. But have you guys ever experienced anything that tried to penetrate those force fields of what you guys have together?
Oh, absolutely. I have. We both have people knowing full well, like our relationship, try to slide into our DMs, and it's like we're so transparent with each other. We show each other, look at this person, like look at what they're trying. But no, together. We're comfortable with each other to the point that there's no. I never fear that Oro's gonna go out, for example, one day and cheat on me, and she's never worried I'm gonna go out there and cheat on her, because we love each other so much that fear doesn't need to exist. We're aware that other people will try things, and let them try, but we know that nothing's ever going to come out of it because we're strong together. But yeah, I've had someone actually really close to me at the time, like slide into her DMs and write her some stuff that was just like completely inappropriate, and then she sent it to me, and this was really early on in our relationship too. So it could have gone either way. You never know, but like,
Right.
she sent to me, she's like, look at this person. And I think in that moment, that's when I really realized just how amazing she is as a person. She showed that transparency, and so we're transparent with one another. Like, we're the kind of couple that, like, I don't, like, I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, if my phone is unattended, I'm worried that she's gonna go through my phone and see what's in there, because, like, first of all, I have nothing to hide, and two, I don't care. So I just think that we're blessed that we have each other. And I think that, again, that comes from open communication. And if you truly love one another, you really don't have anything to fear. Someone can come in and try to shake the foundation, but the only thing they're going to shake is themselves, because our foundation is too strong.
Man, I gotta applaud that.
Thank you.
And I feel that, I know that, because some of these questions, when it comes down to wifey, I asked you 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to see what you were going to say, and
Yeah.
it's amazing because the response was similar, but way more stronger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Way more stronger. So I love that, man. I love that. Last time I was able to talk with her, we still got to get her. We got to
we
get her
must.
on here. We have to.
Must.
We don't set that up to where we can. I wanna talk to her and celebrate her as well. I just think that it'll be dope to introduce our fan base to her.
Yeah.
As well, and then we can do it where we bring you guys both on here
Yeah.
together. I would love to
awesome.
see the interaction with the both of you guys on here together as well. What can we look forward to in the future? I mean, you guys are always creating every day. You guys are creating something. What can we look forward to?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I have 2 songs coming out really soon. So one of them actually got the final master 2 days ago, and I'm super excited about it. Initially it was called Scream About It, but I decided to call it Scream because it's an homage in a way to Michael Jackson's Scream,
Okay.
It's a very it's in the same vein as that song in terms of the kind of voice that he was using and the kind of emotion behind it. It's very similar in that to that song. And but for me, it really was an homage to that song as also something that needed to come out of me. And like I said, I initially wanted to call it Scream about it because I didn't want people to confuse it for Scream and blah blah blah. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, no, it's an homage to Scream, so I'm gonna call it Scream.
Right, right.
And so yeah, so now right now I'm discussing with a team of stunt coordinators about shooting a music video because I wanted to make this one a very stunt heavy music video. So we're planning to shoot that.
Now, you know, you got to.
Yeah, we got to.
I mean, now we can't pay homage and not give it everything that we got to, you know, the resources that we got, you know what I mean, to just make this a super success. Fully confident that it will. But, you know, when we're paying homage to, you know, icons and legends as such, you know, I know that you're going to put a lot of thought and take the necessary time that's needed to make sure that it's a masterpiece. So
absolutely.
Super geeked about that. Now, this is going to be my last time telling you that. I wanted to wait till we get on here to tell you this again. I'm not going to say this again. I'm just going to be like, well, you know what? That's on him then. I'm you don't know that he has a brother that has radio, magazines, all this stuff. Yeah, I just can't keep telling these artists this stuff.
You know
of it, man. Like, you know, we syndicated over here. Like, you know, it's like, come on, man. Like, I mean, don't forget about the Vibe Show because you are going this way, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
You're going this way. I'm fully confident in all of that. I believe in you. I believe in your brand, and I believe in you as a human. I think that you're an amazing person, amazing human being. I love the way that you view the world. I love the way that you love people. I love the way that you humble yourself and you receive that love and appreciate that love for people buying into you, your brand, and everything that you're putting out there. I can feel the appreciation every time we talk or anything that just the little things that we done as far as the extra promotion for you. You made sure that you made it your business to let me know how much you appreciate and value that. And that means a lot to me because whether you know it or not, you are a superstar. You are on a level, you know, and that's how I look at you. You know, you're Mecca to me. I know where you're going, and I know that you're confident and know where you're going as well. You know, it don't matter. Sometimes we take the slower road, but I know in the end what the end game is going to be with you. So with that being said, you know, on behalf of me, on behalf of the whole family, the Vibe family, we just want to say thank you, man. You know, and we really appreciate you so much, and we definitely behind you 1,000 for real, man. You're really a true gem out here.
Yeah, man, no, man. You got me all emotional over here, man. Honestly, I'm just very appreciative of the support you've given me over the years that we've known each other, and like I said, like the work that you put into the branding for advertising this show. Like I know it takes work to make these happen, and then almost every day you're sending me like, this is the new you know, the promo for the show, and that's like, and I know like that took work, but you did it, and there's love behind it. So man, I appreciate you, and I promise I will send you the releases. You'll be the first one actually to hear the first two songs.
Y'all hear him, huh?
Yeah.
Strong Jewel, Ashley. Okay, go ahead. What you saying? I'm making sure we got this.
Yeah. No, you're gonna be the first ones to hear the full version of the next two songs, long before they're ready to come out. You're gonna get them. You're gonna actually, you know, after this show, I will send you the first one. Right after this show, on our chat, I will send you.
We got him, y'all.
Send it to you.
We got him, y'all.
Send it to you.
Yo, man, I definitely appreciate that. Let's get some shout outs too, man. We didn't give those flowers out. Let's get those flowers out in closing. let's give those flowers out to everybody because you have a hell of a support system.
Yeah,
You got a
yeah.
lot of people, a lot of fans that love you, you and your wife, and let's just give some love out, man.
Let's do it, man. First of all, shout out to you. Shout out to the whole crew. Like I said, all the support that you guys give me, it always goes beyond the Call of Duty, and it's very well reciprocated. Received. So thank you. Obviously, shouting out my queen, Oro. She is the reason that I am as strong as I am today, as more confident and more self-aware. So I love her, with all my life. Shout out to my brother Nir Guzinski, who got me into the acting game and who's been there for through thick and thin. Man, I got so many people. Jess Abram, my best friend. She is I'm a music partner in crime. And right now, a new person in my life, her name is Viv Colette. She has become my personal trainer, and she is the reason why I'm looking this damn good. So shout out to these people. There's so many more people, and they know who they are. But I just want to give them all the love because they are the reason that I am this person right now.
Absolutely, and your fans, they always pulling up, man. Showing so much love. I love your fans. A lot of fans of yours has followed mine. A lot of fans of mine have followed you. I think that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Sharing the love, building a community of people that's just based on the premise of showing love and supporting one another. Because like you said, it's so much out here for all of us creators and brand owners and people that's trying to build something on in the independent space. It's enough out here, and it's okay to show people love, man. I don't know at what point it became a process to where you got to fill out an application to get support from people now, or we're in a weird space right now. But I definitely am glad that we have connected. Right there, she usually be like around, man, where she'll dip in on me or whatever. You got to make sure that you give her my love.
Yeah.
Tell her that and I'm gonna get Jewel, I'm gonna get Strong Jewel to get with you.
Yeah.
And
she's in the next room. I can get her to come down
real
quick.
she was in the lab.
We got to, man. Come on. Y'all gotta hold on a quick second. 1 second.
Come on, man. Vibe Show 97.9, man. Y'all already know the vibes. There's always major vibes going on this end. Shout out to the one and only Strong Jewel. Shout out to Ashley Hoffman. That's the squad right there, man. That's the family always major.
Hold up. Let me turn the mic on. There you go. There she is.
There she is. What's going on? How you doing? Listen, the interview was about you. We basically talked about you the whole
straight up. We didn't talk about anything else. We forgot to talk about the releases, just her.
Exactly. We just talked about you. You were the interview. But I wanted to tell you, thank you so much for all the love that you've poured into this brother right here. You definitely are a big part of the human that he is right now, and even he attests to that. And I wanted to say that I love the love that you guys have for one another. I love everything that you guys are creating and blessing us with all the time. I just think that it's just brilliance, and I just think that it's purpose driven. And I wanted to say thank you and say hello, and that we do want you to come on the show. We want to hear.
That is so lovely. Thank you so much. I wasn't prepared for this. Aww.
Well, that's the best time. We want to right. So we're gonna set all of that up.
Yeah.
I'll get Strong Jewel. I'll get her. She's gonna reach out, and we're gonna throw some dates out there because I know you guys got complex schedules as well, and we'll make sure we get everything on the same accord, and then we'll get all the information that we need to get to the promo team to develop all of the creations of the advertisement and all of that, and we're gonna bring you on too. I'm gonna get Jewel to get with you too. I think it'll be dope to do a nice piece on you in the next magazine issue, a nice write-up.
Yes.
The next magazine issue. So I'll get her to get with you as well on getting all of the information that we need to do a nice little spread on you, just to further get that information out there and get people connected, man. Because I just think that it's important, man. Like people like you guys, it's necessary out here, especially in the realm we in right now. Y'all already know we living in a crazy world.
You're making me sweat.
She's like, oh Lordy.
Man, I can't wait to hang out with you guys. I'm serious, man. You guys are so dope to me, man. Y'all like the dopest couple ever. You know what I mean?
You know, when we do like when we eventually do an interview with the three of us, it'd be cool. We fly down to you, man, because that would be.
Oh, now that'll be crazy right there. Yeah. So now, or do you want to give some shout outs to anybody you want to give some shout outs to as we close out? Friends, family, your fans, because you have a fan base.
My parents don't watch, they don't know technology. So just hi everyone. I love you. I don't know.
I like how we put all the spot. This is all organic right here. Word.
We'll let you run.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you
later.
Thank you.
Hold on, put this back on. Oh, now.
Yo, that's dope, man.
Oh yeah, people, y'all can go follow her at ADHD Travels. It's ADHD Travels on Instagram. Just want to put that out there.
Hey, look, shoot me one of her post in the DM or whatever, and I'll forward it to the whole team because we definitely want to support her.
Yeah, man.
Well, my brother, I want to in close, let me let you close out. Is it any for anybody that because you know we're going through some tough times still a lot of turmoil going on in the world. For anybody that may be depressed, low in spirit, you know, maybe in a horrible creative space and thinking about giving up, or you know, can you give them some warm words of uplift and inspiration before we get out of here?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my favorite books is a book actually a friend of mine a few years ago introduced me to. It's called The Alchemist. And I don't want to spoil the book, but I will spoil the ending. But basically at the end, the lesson was that most of the time when life is the hardest, it's because you're right at the precipice of what you're trying to achieve. Life tests you one more time, and it's usually the test of tests. So when you're going through the thick of it and you're really feeling like you're really at wit's end, that's when you really need to stick to it. It's like when you're going to the gym, that last rep is always the most brutal rep, but that's the one that makes all the difference. So when you're going through it, remember that you're about to make a great change in your life, and that you are never alone, that we are omnipotent beings. We have unlimited power. Then never let anyone make you not realize that you are everything that you are supposed to be, and you have everything that you need already within yourself. So you're never alone. And if you ever feel like you're alone, just remember that there's an alien out there that loves you too.
Yo, man, listen, man, I ain't gonna lie, Steve, man, I love you.
Love you too, man.
We love you. You already know what it is with me and you, man. It's just amazing, brother. I'm not gonna lie, it's amazing. You're amazing, and I can't wait to get you back on here.
Yeah, man.
So for me and the entire Vibe family, we want to tell you that we love you, and we're wishing you more blessings and more success with everything that you're doing right now and everything that you're going to be doing in the future, my brother. We love you, man.
Man, love you guys too, man. Damn it, y'all make me emotional.
Exactly. It's the Vibe Show 97.9 with my special guest, my brother, the one and only multi-award winning artist, Stephen Voice. We love y'all. If you're not subscribed to the Vibe Show 97.9, I don't know what you're doing. Please hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Also share this particular interview. It definitely was a dope one, man, full of love and full of gems and jewels on so many different levels. Shout out to everybody that was tuned in today on the live, and also everybody that was listening on the radio airwaves, man. We want to thank y'all so much for riding with us throughout this entire interview. We love y'all. Everybody, y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. Y'all already know the vibes. It's the Vibe Show 97.9 with me and my brother, Steven Voice. We out. Love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Peace.